Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the CR7 Podcast. The RTGAC is back in today, coming to you live here once again. We had to miss. Cole was out of commission. Then Cole's been a busy man pitching at God knows where the other day. Every 10 seconds, you see another Cole Kuhn post on Instagram or on Instagram. Some scouts post them. I don't know what, but yeah, big news coming from him. Maybe Cole wants to touch on that. Maybe not. Myself personally released a new Instagram account where we'll be posting graphics and all that good stuff as well. So you guys go follow that at Sully Sports Media. Everything under case there. And yeah, we have our Seth Slater interview coming on WSJP's YouTube at 12 o'clock. We'll have a post at around 12:30 on our Instagram at CR7 _podcast talking about that. But before we get into the rundown, Cole, say what's up to the people.
Good morning, everyone. Good to be back. Thursday, we're not usually here all day, but, it's kind of fun on Thursday, one day to Friday. Almost the end of the week.
That is very, very true. And yeah, so we're back here. We'll probably be back on Monday just based off the fact that we'll keep the schedule aligned with how we've been doing it, just so we don't throw off the audience. And yeah, to get into the rundown up-to-date episode, we'll have our Phillies weekly recap. And I want to touch a little bit on UFC 316, just because of the fact Marab got the finish. And then in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers has gone to the Steelers. We'll be talking about that. Cole will be previewing the College Baseball World Series. And then in the NBA, I'll be talking about Kevin Durant, what his best options are. And then Cole and I will be discussing the NBA Finals as the Indiana Pacers are up 2-1 in the series. And then we'll have Ryan's rants, and then we will wrap things up for today. Cole, the Philadelphia Phillies getting the win over the Chicago Cubs while they have looked all right over the past couple of weeks. Talk about this team.
Yeah. Well, first, let's start off with the Toronto series. You get the first win. I thought that Harper being back in the lineup really propelled them to that one. He had a home run early in the game, I believe. And then you drop Wednesday and Thursday, which is kind of brutal. Only scored one run in both of those games. Mono blows it on Wednesday. I believe you were up 1-0 going into the ninth, and then they scored two, if I'm not mistaken. No, they scored one off him to walk it off. Alejandro doubled. But, yeah, I mean, Romano has been horrible. And to be honest, our bullpen is really losing us a ton of games here down the stretch. And then on Thursday, Luzardo got rocked again. So, apparently he was tipping his jump, which, could be why he's, letting up these big runs. But he did deal a day ago or whatever it was. But, yeah, Bassett, 7 innings, 1 run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Really good job on his part. Let up 1 measly run in the 6th, really. Castellanos went 3 for 3. He's been kind of swinging it pretty well as of late. But, yeah, bullpen, again, let up 1, but it's not the end of the world. But, yeah, Luzardo's got to be better. And he did that yesterday. And then Pittsburgh, we get swept by Pittsburgh. And, again, Romano blows the game. I really don't understand why we keep putting him in these high-pressure situations. Because, again and again, he keeps losing games for us. And he should not go in the 9th inning. He's an inning eater at this point because, frankly, no one's doing very well. And this was a bullpen game. I mean, Joe Ross started off the game for us. He did solid, but, again, the bullpen is not going to win us any games. So why we're having a bullpen game, I guess it's just to give the starters some rest, but we're not going to win a bullpen game right now with the sneak in. Kirkry and Strahm, 1 scoreless. Everyone else let up a run at least. Romano's got a 7.7 ERA. He was solid. He's been okay at times, but, I mean, he just keeps losing games, like I said. Then you lose 2-1. Suarez gets the loss. Granted, he pitched very, very well, but again, the hitting is just not there. 1 run. I mean, it's just not going to do it, and it's a Schwarber home run in the first inning. Suarez lets up 2 in the 7th. We should have pulled him earlier, especially with him just coming back. We kind of got to have him on a shorter leash. But I do like what Taijuan Walker has been doing. Out of the pen, no runs, 2 Ks, or 2 walks, my bad, but still let up no runs. Yeah, again, we had 4 hits? Yeah, that's just not going to cut it. I mean, the offense has got to be better. Whether it's Harper, Castellanos, we just need someone to step up. Lose 2-1 again, get swept. I mean, last game, I didn't mind it. You're going up against Schemes, so how much of a chance do you really have? 7 and 2/3 scoreless. He did give up 1 unearned, I believe, which isn't even his fault. Sanchez, he pitched well, but he got the loss. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. I mean, that's a great stat line, but a loss in this one because Skeens is the best pitcher in the world. Again, no one really stepping up. Marchand hit, Marsh hit, Turner hit, but that's really all they can show for. And again, the hitting is just not there. Marchand has the only RBI in this game. Our bigger guys have to step up. Schwarber, it's June, and he's not hitting very well as of late. And then you go into the Chicago series. I was very scared about this series. We end up winning it, fortunately. Marsh with the walk-off single in the 9th. Remuto tied it in the 11th. Marsh walked it off in the 11th. So I really like what Wheeler's been doing. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. And then the bullpen surprisingly locked it down. Thank God they didn't put Romano in the 11th. But, set up a run, which is – I mean, I wouldn't say it's, unheard of for him, but especially this year. But, yeah, we got Palencia for the Cubs. And Boyd pitched very well, and he was good last year with the Guardians. One run. He had no strikeouts, but 6 innings, 1 earned run against the Phillies. It's pretty solid. So, got to give them credit where credit due. Otto Kemp, he got in the lineup. I mean, he had his first hit, single, infield single, bunt single. So, love what he's been doing, obviously. And then Bohm has 2 hits. JT has 2 hits. Marsh has 2 hits as a pinch hitter. So, I mean, offense really stepped up there, especially in clutch situations and, in the bottom of the 11th especially. And then you lose 8-4. And, I mean, this one I don't hate. I mean, Abel did – you expect him to collapse at some point. It wasn't necessarily a collapse, but Cubs have practically the best offense in the entire league. They haven't faced many bad opponents, and they are 41-26. Faced the Dodgers, faced pretty much everyone, really. Abel, 4 runs, 3 earned, 3 Ks. I mean, I don't hate that stat line, but then Walker comes in, lets up 2. Ross lets up 3. So it's just not ideal. The bullpen again. Although I haven't mind Walker coming out of it. Joe Ross has been absolutely horrible for us. He has a 5 ERA. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. We didn't really get bullpen at all. Brazier, Keller, Presley, Flexen, they were all very, very solid for them. Bohm had 3 hits. He's starting to heat up a little bit, and thank God because he was not hitting the ball at the end of the season. And then Luzardo finally hits some good stuff from him. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 10 Ks. Finally back a little bit. Luzardo 1 out of the pen, but I mean, for the most part, this was a pretty dominating win. Especially, like, you love what Turner did. Bohm, again, hitting in the 3 slot. I really like what he's been doing. For a home run. Schwarber also had a home run in this one. Again, need Harper back in this lineup. It's kind of horrible without it. You play Toronto again. I'm not a big fan of this. You have Suarez first on the mound, but they have Gossman, who's been lights out for them. You should win the second game because Bowden France has been horrible. And then that Sunday series, I decided with Wheeler and Barrios. So, yeah, I'm excited for that series. We'll see what the offense can do. And then you have Miami, which is Miami's kind of our type, to be honest, but I mean, we should not lose to Miami theoretically. We should get 3 out of 4 here. And then New York. I mean, New York swept us last time, so we kind of got to prove ourselves here. Abel Luzardo, I like that already. So, we'll see. Again, it's all up to the offense right now, Ryan. They've been bad as of late, but they're starting to heat up. They fought the Cubs pretty well. So, yeah, you.
Yeah, currently right now there just seems to be no consistency with this team. I mean, one day it's the pitching, the next day it's the hitting. I mean, if I could turn this into a whole Ryan's Rant segment, I would. But we have to start it off at the top of the show. Nobody wins except for the Phillies because they get their paycheck at the end of the day. But nonetheless, I mean, yeah, first game. I think last time we talked last Monday, obviously. You get the 8-3 win over the Blue Jays, incredible. Everybody, especially in that first inning. I believe Schwarber had a home run. I don't necessarily remember. Harper had the home run. He in his first at bat back, he had a home run. And they were just raking that whole game. They came out really hot. And then the pitching locked down. I think the Blue Jays kind of just got down on themselves. But then, nonetheless, you were raking in the first inning the one day. Then the next day you come in and you put up 1 run. Listen, I don't even remember who put up that 1 run. But I sure as hell know what happened. Yeah, the pitching locked it down. They did pretty decent. And the hitting just can't find the bat. I don't know if their eyesight wasn't looking good that day. If they all got arguments with their family members, but I don't know what the hell happened. And then the same thing on Thursday. You just come out and you look like a bunch of bums. You can't hit the baseball. The Blue Jays are consistently throughout the game getting good hits, no matter the pitcher. They're finding out ways to hit the baseball. Listen, I can't hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball down the plate, but I sure as hell can tell you that the guy's getting paid $30-40 million to be able to do it. Listen, I say this now, but I'm going to say at the end of my segment here that it doesn't all matter that much, but it's just a bit annoying. You know what I mean? But then you go into the pitch series, and I mean, I don't get it, man. The Phillies were on such a good run, and then all of a sudden they just collapse like a cheap tent. It doesn't really make much sense. I mean, these games against Pittsburgh were really, really close, and you just didn't find a way to win them. So, am I really upset about it? No, but it is what it is. You were able to do it against Chicago. You were able to close out the first game in 11. I'm not too concerned about what happened in the Pittsburgh series, just because they just couldn't close the games for 3 straight. Is that a bit annoying? Yeah. Should you've gotten one of them? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's not going to. It's not going to be the end-all, be-all at the end of the day, so I'm not too concerned. Then against Chicago, I mean, I'm very happy they were able to close out against the Cubs in the very first game. Came through. I would have been disappointed. I would have been really pissed off if he didn't come through. Honestly, you had bases loaded with no outs. You should have at least found a way, but good on him for actually doing it, because I don't know how many guys would. Then Tuesday, I mean, Cole, you're absolutely right. You took the words out of my mouth. Mick Abel was eventually going to come back down to earth and, lose a game, give up runs. The Cubs offense is just probably the most electric. And you say it's the best in the MLB. I would also say it's probably fun to watch, honestly. I mean, they have some of the best hitters. They have their base running is incredible as well. So you got to give them credit where credit is due. Then Wednesday, I mean, I would say the only reason the Phillies won this game is because Ben Brown was pitching for the Chicago Cubs. I mean, I know he used to play for the Phillies. He was involved in that David Robertson trade. That just shows you how much the Phillies valued him. And he wasn't that great. I mean, the Phillies were doing a great job heading off him, making him. Luzardo was very, very good yesterday, though. I got to give him a lot of credit. He pitched like 100 pitches in 6 innings, but he was very good last night or yesterday afternoon, and I was very surprised. Believe he had 7 strikeouts in 3 innings, which is unheard of for him. So, excuse me. That's very, very good. I really like to see that. And then, I think Schwarber's come back down the earth. Cole, I think you touched on that. Bohm's been, once again, as I've mentioned over the past couple of weeks, starting to hit the baseball a little bit more, which is good. Somebody's also been pretty good is Castellanos. I was pretty upset about him, but he's been all right as well. And then obviously Harper out of the lineup sucks, but once again, you just have to do it. Turner, pretty consistent, 303 average. He's been all right. Stott has been horrible hitting the baseball. He has not been good at all. I'm very disappointed what he's been doing. He's been knocked down to like the bottom of the lineup, batting 237 as we speak. Only 26 RBIs on the year. Very disappointed what he's doing. Realmuto is whatever. Kepler's been all right. He's been good. He was in the Cubs series. I know he had a couple of hits there. But yeah, overall, it hasn't been great for the Phillies. But and as I said, I was going to say this earlier. At the end of the day, your team is taking a big hit. Like the first time we started to talk about the Phillies, we were first in the NL. We were looking good. And then all of a sudden, we dropped to the second wild card spot. It's not like the Phillies are going to be dropping to the third spot in the NL East because I think the Washington are literally 7 games back to the Phillies. And then Atlanta has won 2 out of their last 10 as well. So it doesn't really look like even with them being healthy, they're not going to be doing anything. So if the Phillies are going to stay on where they are, it's not ideal, but at least it's a playoff spot. So I can't necessarily get mad at it. I don't even know what are the wild card standings. Let me look here. I mean, they have the second wild card. They're half a game over the third place San Diego Padres, and then I believe that is 3 games over the out of the wild card of the St. Louis Cardinals. So, I mean, like, I can't really see you losing that spot as we speak. If you do, then there's a real problem, but I don't know. But anyway, Harper out of the lineup. I mean, how do the Phillies keep themselves going with Otto Kemp and Alec Bohm playing first base?
Yeah, I mean, people just got to step up. And so, I mean, this past week, it's really been Bohm doing a lot of the hitting for the Philadelphia Phillies. But honestly, it could be anyone. Like, it could be Otto Kemp. He went 3 for 5 the other night. Could be other guys as well. So don't count anyone out. Could be Turner at the top of the lineup. It's just someone just got to step up a little bit as a leader in this lineup, other than Harper, because, he's going to be out. And, you can't do anything about it. You just got to win some baseballs.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And if, Cole, you don't have anything to say about the Phillies moving forward, I want to touch a bit on UFC 316 this past weekend. I got to pull results here in just a second. Yeah, all right, here we go. I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about this. I kind of just really want to talk about the main event. I also want to talk about how Patchy Mix was and how pissed I was. I thought it was a really great card. Patchy Mix got absolutely pieced up by Mario Bautista. I don't know. He just was flat-footed the whole fight, and he looked terrible. Very disappointed. This is supposed to be a guy supposed to compete for the bantamweight title soon, and he looked like a bum. But anyway, Murad Dvalishvili did a great job in this fight. Everybody was talking about how Sean O'Malley stayed off social media, didn't poke was not doing his extracurricular activities that I don't think I'm allowed to say, even if it's on my YouTube channel. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, he's not doing all those things, and suddenly he's supposed to become Superman. Like, do you think Marab is doing those things? I mean, Marab is probably one of the most disciplined fighters in the UFC outside of Habib Nurmagomedov's camp with Islam and Bilal and all them guys. So, I mean, I don't really think that it made much of a difference based off the fact that Marab was probably doing the same things that Sean wasn't doing, or wasn't doing the same. You get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I just don't think that made much of a difference. Um, and then, I mean, Marab was just great. He was piecing them up as well. Great combinations. And then he was able to shoot on the take. I mean, he just kept shooting on the takedowns, and O'Malley stuffed a few, but Marab's just so good on the ground. He's such a good grappler to the point where you're not going to stop every single one of them. And that's what happened. Marab did a great job of what do you call it? Did a great job of shooting on the takedowns. O'Malley, not really situational awareness around to be able to get out of the takedowns. I saw a few opportunities where he could have wrapped his legs around Marab, or at least wrapped a leg around Marab, kind of get down and get out. I don't know. Demetrius Johnson does a great job of getting down his YouTube. He does a great job at that, and then he was able to get the finish. Mally got himself into a bad situation. Marab's good, man. You can make the argument he's number one pound for pound, but I still think that's Islam Makhachev as we speak. But I think Marab could possibly be number two. You could put him over Ilya Taporia at the current moment in time. Kayla Harrison beating Juliana Pena was good as well. I was not surprised about that. Harrison is one of the most strongest women's fighters in the UFC. It's going to be hard to see her cut down to 135 still, though. But it's saying that she does face Amanda Nunes at that weight. And then Joe Pfeiffer getting the win. Great to see a Philly guy get the win as well. You love to see that. I was hoping he would get the knockout on Kevin Gastelum since he had the knockdowns in the first few rounds. But it is what it is there. He kept going for the big shot. And as I mentioned, Patchy Mix, terrible. Allen, I mean, still an exciting fighter, so you love to see him. But what's next for Marab? I would definitely say that Corey Sandhagen. I mean, there really isn't anybody else for Marab, which is the biggest problem. I mean, he's beaten everybody on the way title, and the UFC made him do so much to get a title shot that you don't know what to really do with him anymore because he's beaten everybody. I mean, you could put him against Peter Yan, but it's not really going to work because of the fact that he's beaten him already. And I mean, Corey Sandhagen seems to be the only other option. So I guess that'll happen. That's not a fight I'm dying to see at the current moment in time, but it is what it is. So I don't know. And then touch a little bit on this John Jones and Tom Aspinall situation. God bless you, Cole. Three times there. I want to touch a little bit on this Tom Aspinall and John Jones situation. I am so lost on what the hell is going on. If John Jones is saying that he's retired, then why in God's name does he have the belt? Why does a retired fighter have the belt? Logically, let's use our bets here. He literally said he's retired. So why does he still feel the need to hold the belt? It doesn't make sense. I don't really know what's going on here. Unless this is a whole swerve to the new TV rights deal with Netflix or ESPN, I don't understand why John Jones is holding on to the belt. If he doesn't want to fight the interim champion, why are you holding on to it? As much as he wants to say Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve it, well, boo-hoo, that's a damn shame because he's the interim champion. You don't get to pick and choose who the interim champion is. It doesn't make sense to me, honestly. Defend or vacate. That's the way it goes. And the UFC, they will always tend towards John Jones's needs. Other than McGregor, he is the most tattoo fighter of all time. You can make the argument that they have catered more towards his needs than McGregor's, honestly. They literally moved the whole event for him back in whatever year, just so he could fight. And he wouldn't get caught in his drug scandal. So, I mean, it is what it is. Um, and then my prediction for Saturday, I'm going to take Joaquin Buckley to win over Kamaru Usman. I think he will roll over Usman. I'm very excited for this fight. Unlike other fight night cards, you can't just for some reason you can never get excited for these fight nights. Because some of them just aren't that good. Especially with the last couple of weeks, you had Macy Barber back out at the last second. Not anything that's her fault though, but it's just a shame to see. And these fight night cards are just it. But yeah, it is what it is. Cole, I don't know if you have anything to touch on this. But yeah, we'll move on here. Before we get into Aaron Rodgers, I want to turn it over to Cole here to talk about the College Baseball World Series. Should be a good one here as well. Cole, break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, this has been super interesting. I'll just talk a little bit about the Super Regionals first, and then I'll get into, I guess, my predictions for Omaha, I'd say. Louisville beat Miami. Big time win for Louisville. I wasn't sure about them going into the third game because Miami was heating up a little bit, but, they got the job done. Oregon State, Florida State. I was super surprised about that one, but, again, Oregon State, they've been super clutch, man, especially facing elimination, and, that's been the biggest thing for them. Murray State takes down Duke for their first trip to Omaha. It was their first trip to the Super Regionals, I believe, and I mean, man, no one saw them coming out of Athens or Oxford, and they beat Duke in Durham. So they're one of the best hitting teams I've seen so far this tournament. So congrats to them. Chapel Hill, UNC gets eliminated. They beat Arizona the first game like 17-2. Should have saved some run last two because, I mean, Arizona was clutch, man. LSU comes out of Baton Rouge. I mean, no one was really surprised about that. West Virginia put up a real good fight, but, I mean, it just wasn't enough. All regional, Coastal Carolina. I mean, dude, Coastal Carolina is one of the best teams in this tournament, man. And I'll talk a little bit about them later, but I mean, man, they're a powerhouse, and it's fun to watch them, especially hitting, especially pitching. I mean, they do it all, really. Fayetteville, Arkansas takes it here, man, and off of some great pitching in the first. Tennessee, man, they're known for their pitching, but, I mean, they kind of got rocked here by Arkansas. Arkansas, this could be their year. They face LSU in the first round, I believe, but it's going to be close, man. UCLA comes out of ends UTSA's run. San Antonio, man, good for them. They beat Texas. They come out of the Austin regional, get to their first super regional ever. But UCLA, man, they're too good. They won the Big Ten regular season, and yeah, they're going to Omaha. I guess I'll touch a little bit about Omaha and my predictions. So I'll start with bracket 1. So it's double elimination. Yeah, pretty much. Coastal Carolina, Arizona, taking Coastal to win that one. Oregon State, Louisville. I'm going to take Oregon State to win this one. So Arizona, Louisville in the elimination game. I will take Louisville. I like Arizona. They did just come off a win against UNC, but, man, I really like Louisville, what they've been doing. They knocked off Vandy as well. So I will take Louisville. Then Coastal Carolina, Oregon State. I'm going to take Coastal. I really like what they're doing. Again, they've been facing some SEC powerhouses. Obviously, Oregon isn't. I believe they're Pac-12. But, yeah, Coastal, man, they can hang with anybody, really. And they have 50 wins on the year, first to 50. So, yeah, I'll take them. Oregon State, Louisville in the elimination game. I'll take Oregon State. So we'll see a Coastal Oregon State matchup. I say Oregon wins 1, but then Coastal wins the next one. They win the bracket 1. Bracket 2, UCLA, Murray State. I'm taking Murray State, man. I like what they've been doing offensively. I actually haven't watched much of UCLA because their games are always super late because they're in Los Angeles. So, I mean, I haven't really seen them play a ton, which isn't fair, I guess. But I will take Murray State. And then the big one everyone's talking about, people are saying that this game might decide it. Arkansas, LSU, the two favorites heading into this. I'm going to take Arkansas. I love what they've been doing. LSU's bound to lose at this point. And I do think they're going to lose to Arkansas in the first game. Again, really good. But I don't know. I've been liking Arkansas's pitching. And, Curiel's great for LSU, and they've got a bunch of, great hitters. I'll take Arkansas. Murray State versus LSU. I'll take LSU there. Or wait, no, UCLA, LSU. That's going to be a very good game. I'll take LSU there. Murray State, Arkansas. I'll take Arkansas. Murray State, LSU. I guess LSU. And then they'll face Arkansas again. I'll say LSU takes game 1. And I'll say Arkansas takes game 2. They go on to face for the national championship. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll leave that up for another episode. But, yeah, I mean, it's super exciting for me. I love watching baseball. Yeah, Coastal, Arkansas, and the championship. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, those are my predictions.
Yeah, this is all very confusing to me, the way this stuff works. I get how it works, but...
Yeah, it's just double elimination. So if you lose the loser's bracket, you play the loser of whoever.
Right. I mean, I would expect Arkansas to come out of their bracket. Yeah, I would say so. I would expect them to come out and beat LSU here. I guess I don't know. I mean, UCLA, I mean, they've been good. I don't know why, but I've been riding with UCLA this year. I might have to take them as well. I mean, yeah, like Oregon State, Coastal Carolina. I mean, I don't know why these ranked teams wouldn't win, but then again, Vanderbilt lost in their first bracket or whatever seat. I don't know whatever it was. Yeah, group. Yeah, they lost. So I guess you can't always take the seeded guys. So I mean, yeah, I would take. My big team is UCLA, though. I mean, these are my guys. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you one thing about them, but these are my guys. I was watching the LSU game the other day. They were really, really well, so I'm hoping that, maybe they can get something done. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to keep watching this. Not really too much on it. I can't really break it down like Cole. But I mean, this has been good. I'm excited to keep on watching. What is this? What's today? The 12th? All right. Oh, it comes on. Wow, it comes on tomorrow as well. Look at that. But yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep moving along with that. But I don't have much more to say. But yeah, I definitely would say that UCLA is my team. It's my ride or die.
All right. That's it. Big Ten guy over here.
Yeah. I got to root for my Big Ten schools. Nonetheless, we're going to move. Retreats that I've never even heard of. Retreats, and messing with our heads for the past 2 months. He has finally made a decision, and he has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In my opinion, I think that Rodgers wanted to sign with the Minnesota Vikings in his heart, but he eventually gave up, which is very unlike Aaron Rodgers. So I can't necessarily say that he is changing, but good for him in finally realizing that the Vikings do not want him. At the end of the day, I think that this is not as bad as a move as everybody thinks it is. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was that terrible with the New York Jets, and that sounds like a really weird thing to say now. But listen, Rodgers was not good. He didn't create a connection with Garrett Wilson, and he didn't show up to camps. And the coach was fired. He can say that he didn't have anything to do with it, but you can tell there was friction there. He brought in his own offensive coordinator, who was just as competent as I am to be an offensive coordinator, which is absolutely nothing. So you got that there. Aaron Rodgers created so many problems, but on the field wise, I mean, Rodgers played just like statistically, he played just as good as he did in his 2022 or one of his MVP seasons. I think it was not like overall, but like some of those stats, key stats, I guess you should say, are pretty similar to his MVP seasons. And just because he was losing those games, everybody gives him the BS. Now, once again, yeah, he deserves it because he was such an problem off the field. So you got to give him the you got to give him the business, as they like to say. I hope Cole gets that reference, but um, nonetheless, I think that if you can show up to you could show up to the camps, you show up to training camp, you show up to mini camp, you develop a connection with your receivers, you'll be a decent team. Will you go 9-8? No, you might be able to win 10 or 11 games. I don't see the Steelers winning, all 18 games or 17 games, however many they play. I don't see them winning all of them. I could see them winning 11, 12 games, though, if Aaron Rodgers can just return to what he was. Because we have to we always have to say the New York Jets were absolutely awful. I mean, the owner is incompetent. His son, it seems like he's running the team. They literally base Madden. Like, do you know how ridiculous that is? That they base Madden ratings on how that they on their actual real players. That has got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, I've heard some crazy things, but I've never heard anything crazier than that. So the Jets are just an incompetent franchise. They didn't develop a run game because their offensive line was not that good. They relied on Aaron Rodgers to do it all. Once again, does Aaron Rodgers deserve a lot of blame? Yes, he does. He didn't play all that incredible, but he didn't play terrible to the point where you could put him as a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL. But it is what it is. I'm not rooting for them, but I'm also not cheering against them. We'll see how it is. I think that this is a decent move for the Steelers. But if Rodgers can just do what he's supposed to do and do what his contract states, then I think they'll be fine. I think they'll win at least 11, 12 games. Do I think they're getting out of the AFC? No. And do I even think they win their division? Probably not. But, we'll see what happens. I'll turn it over to you, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Aaron Rodgers, so this already makes it tough for me. Again, he was horrible in New York. I think he was horrible in New York, especially with what he was given. Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, just to name a few of the weapons that he had. And now this is definitely a downgrade. Jalen Warren, he's solid, but I don't know how he's going to do as a running back one because, other teams are planning for both Najee and Jalen Warren. Najee more of a power back kind of guy. Jalen Warren kind of like a quick, explosive kind of guy. You have Caleb Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell as well, but I just don't know how the run game is going to do. And obviously Aaron Rodgers isn't very mobile in the pocket. So I don't know how that's going to play into things as like a run option, those type of plays. So you won't be able to do that. But I don't know. And then you lose out on George Pickens. You lose your number one option. You have DK Metcalf, but again, your 2 and 3 are Robert Woods and Calvin Austin. You have Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, but you really have not a great receiving core. And I don't know what Aaron Rodgers can do with, a 30-year-old DK Metcalf, right? And
Yeah, I don't know. He might be
27. So
yeah, I mean, he's in his prime.
I don't know about his prime, but
Well, his prime years.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. I mean, DK is solid, but I mean, we saw what he did last year. He didn't even crack 1,000 yards.
He's injured.
Yeah, but again, I don't know what he's going to do with Aaron Rodgers. Um, Robert Woods, he had 200 yards last year. He's their wide receiver too. Again, what's he going to do for them? Calvin Austin, he's a good wide receiver 3. I'll give him that. But again, I don't know how well Aaron Rodgers is going to make that relationship with his receivers. Yeah, and there's too much weird stuff going on with him. Pat Freiermuth, he's been good in past years. He was solid this last year, 650 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. So, we'll see. I don't really know how this is going to pan out. It could be the greatest move, could be the worst move. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I
They
don't think
did
you're
need a QB, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to throw out Mason Rudolph. I mean, come on. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, would you throw out Mason Rudolph even on your worst day? I mean, let's be real here. That guy, I mean, it's not, this isn't 2019.
I'd
So,
rather
yeah,
throw out Will Howard.
honestly, you might be right. Downingtown West legend. But nonetheless, before we get into the finals, I do want to get into Kevin Durant. Obviously, the Suns and other teams are heating up when it comes to trade talks. Obviously, no trade can happen. It's something like 2 weeks after the finals. So you got that there. Obviously, they could agree on a trade, but the trade can't actually go through until for a couple of weeks, actually. Maybe July 1st, I think the actual date is. But nonetheless, Kevin Durant, in my opinion, I think the best option for him, Houston Rockets. I'm just going to come out and say it here. Listen, even if it's the Houston Rockets, I would do it because Kevin Durant's trade value is absolutely abysmal because of the fact that he's been traded for so many role players and so many assets, and he can't get it done. So teams have finally caught on that you need role players in your championship run. I've been saying it since the Denver Nuggets won a couple of years ago that this whole superstar, putting 3 superstars on your team is not gonna win you a championship because you need role players to help you win. That's why Indiana won the game last night. They had better depth. Their depth played better than the Oklahoma City Thunder's depth did. Then the Thunder, they did the same thing in the first 2 games. Their depth played better, but then the Indiana in game 1 just came back. We'll get into the finals in just a bit, but you kind of get my point here that you need role players to help you win a championship. Having 3 superstars on your team, I don't even know if you can call Bradley Beal a superstar. Then it's just not going to work out. So, I mean, if I were the Suns, I would have preferred trading Bradley Beal, but his no trade clause makes it impossible for him to get traded. I don't know why he wouldn't want to get traded though, because it's clear that the Suns fan base doesn't want him. It's clear that the team doesn't want him. The coaches don't want him. Nobody wants him on the team. So I don't really understand why he wouldn't want to be traded away to somewhere like Miami, where he could be the number 1 option on at least a playoff team. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. I just don't think Bradley Beal's a winning player, just based off his style. And he's not getting any younger either. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I would say the Houston Rockets for Kevin Durant, just based off the fact that for Kevin Durant, you're going to be the number 1 option on a team that was the second best team in the West. So I would definitely, I would love to consider that. Even if you are on the San Antonio Spurs, this is where I think Kevin Durant wants to be. You're not going to be the number 1 option. So, and you're also on a team that's trying to build towards a championship, not necessarily next year, but in the coming year. So, I don't know. I mean, it would make sense. Maybe Kevin Durant could definitely make them an instant contender, but I don't know if they would actually win in the next 2 years. So that's something you got to take into consideration there. But with the Rockets, they have the assets to the point where you don't have to trade that much away. But you also, you could give up enough to the point where it wouldn't be deadly or you wouldn't destroy your team if you did trade for Kevin Durant. And honestly, the Rockets don't have a number 1 option. I mean, do we think Jalen Green's going to have a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander sort of run where he's going to win the MVP next year? I don't. I love Alpert Sengun, but he is not the number 1 option on a championship team. And that's their 2 best players. So the Rockets were a team that were the 2 seed, but were they really supposed to be the 2 seed? I mean, the teams like the Lakers and others fell off as the season started to come to an end. So, they kind of just got lucky being the 2 seed. And then they lost in 7 to the Golden State Warriors, a team that have a bunch of dinosaurs. No, not dinosaurs. Obviously, their guys are still good, but their guys are getting older. They shouldn't be winning over the young chickens that the Houston Rockets have. So they're kind of stuck right now. Unless they want to try again with this roster, I wouldn't necessarily blame them. See if Jalen Green can take the next step up. I don't really see it happening. Maybe he can take the next step up, but I don't think he's going to take an MVP level step. But we'll have to see there. If I'm any team, though, I want Giannis. I'm not trade. I wouldn't want to trade for Kevin Durant. I think we're kind of going to get into this era where key role players are not going to be traded for superstars. It's just going to be a bunch of draft picks and pick swaps, which is why I think we saw the New York Knicks do what they did. They didn't really want to have to give up all of their depth for Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, while they did give up Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo. They didn't want to have to give up completely all of it. So I understand what they kind of were doing there. But yeah, I think
what? They didn't have much depth in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, they did. They had McBride and they had Shemek. If you look at the stats, their net rating and offensive rating was good with the lineups that Tibbs produced. But then all of a sudden, he just didn't put them in. So, I mean, I don't think it's that they didn't have depth. It's just they didn't have good. They just didn't have the top rated depth players, and Tibbs just didn't want to play them. I think that was the biggest problem there. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Apparently, the Sixers have emerged with the Spurs about potentially moving up the number 2 pick. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's just something there. I mean, I don't really know what the difference will be. Maybe Ace Bailey or Edgecombe. I don't know. But anyway, I would say the Houston Rockets. It makes sense for both teams. But if I'm the Rockets and I can get my hands on Giannis, then I would 100% do it. Giannis still in his prime. He's 30 right now. He definitely has 5-6 more years left in him at least. Just based off the fact that he's so physically gifted. So I would do that if I was the Houston Rockets. The Spurs, another great option. The Knicks are as well. Knicks are kind of maybe a bit lower. Even the Golden State Warriors, honestly, because their time is very limited. I know I put out a list about on Monday, I believe, so you guys can go check that out. I know I put the Warriors up there on my list just based off the fact that their time is so limited. And it really wouldn't take that much time for Kevin Durant to get used to the Golden State Warriors because he played with the top 2 guys on the team, that being Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I assume Jimmy Butler would be involved in that trade, or maybe Butler would be traded to somewhere else in the third team. Then he knows the coach Steve Kerr was playing under him in USA Basketball, played with Curry in USA Basketball. So I think the Warriors are another good option as well. It just depends on whether Kevin Durant wants to be there. Doesn't really seem he wants to, though. But yeah, Cole, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'd say my kind of long shot deal would be the Timberwolves. They have the depth to acquire him. They have the number 25 overall pick as well. I could see multiple teams getting in on this as well. Just with the money aspect of it. Houston Rockets are my number 2. I like them a lot, but who are they going to give up? I don't think they're going to part ways with Thompson, Şengün, or Reed Shepherd. So that means they're going to have to give up Jalen Green and Jabari Smith. And
I would get rid of Jabari Smith.
I know, but do you want to get rid of Jalen Green, your point guard? And then again, you're probably going to have to give up a pick. I don't think they're going to want to give up the number 10 right now, the 2027 and 2029 as well. I just don't know if they'll get a deal done because I don't think they'll want to give up another first-round pick because they don't have one in 2028. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. But 2027 to 2029, I don't know what they'll be like. And again, they kind of fell into that number 2 spot. So again, I don't really know how well that's gonna fit. But again, Suns, I don't know if they'll want Green that much because Green next to Booker, it just doesn't really fit that well. You also have Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen on your roster. So, again, the guard play just doesn't really fit very well to acquire Jalen Green. Although, Smith is, like you said, I would get rid of Smith. He's not – I don't think he has a ton of trade value, to be honest with you. But, yeah, so I just don't think that they could get a deal done. But the Spurs definitely could. That's why I think that they're going to land him. I don't think he needs to be the number one option. He's 37 years old, and Victor Wembanyama is probably one of the top 10 players in the league right now. He is in the top 10. They had the number 2 and the number 14 overall pick this year. They could send him the 14 and still have the number 2. So I think they would be more, willing to give up a high draft pick. They also have Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sokin, Harrison Barnes. Like, they have other good role players that they could give up. If you give up Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sochan, they're both small forwards, power forwards. So Durant can fill that role pretty well. And then you can go into the free agency market, sign a couple guys for some more depth. But yeah, again, you could win right now. Or you could trade away De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if the Suns will want him more. We'll see about that. And then again, Giannis is in the trade market. But I don't know. Durant could help him contend next season. Give him title chances. If they don't want to go out and get a guy like Giannis, because they're eventually going to have to pay Wembanyama. So we'll see. I mean, there's different ways that they could go. Just because of accessibility, I'm putting the Spurs at my number one option. But again, the Rockets could get it done, but I just don't know how that'll pan out, really.
Another reason for the Rockets is with the current roster, I don't ever see them coming out of the West.
Mm-hmm.
But with Kevin Durant, I think it's more of a possibility. Do I think they still would come out of the West with Kevin Durant? No, but I think they have more of a chance to do so. So
I agree. But
with the Spurs, I mean, their current roster, I mean, Wembanyama is just that good. So I mean, you never know. You never know how good they're going to be. If I'm the Spurs, I think you would agree. Like, I think everybody would agree. I'm not giving up the number 2 overall pick for Kevin Durant. That's just stupid.
Well, yeah.
Just got to put that out there.
Since they have the number 2, I think they would be more willing to give up the number 14.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still a lottery pick as well.
I mean, but who's going to be there? Like, maybe Knippel falls.
I mean, this is a good draft. This is a good draft class in general. Yeah. It's like last year's was just awful to the point where Jared McCain was going to win Rookie of the Year. Now, Jared McCain was great, but to the point where Jared McCain was going to win Rookie of the Year if he was healthy. So, yeah. But let's get in.
That's not crazy, though. He's averaging like.
No, yeah, he was great. Game. I'm just saying he wasn't even a lottery pick, but let's move on to what everybody wants to talk about here. That's the NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers have taken a 2-1 lead over the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. Cole, very surprising. I had the Thunder in 5 games. You have the Thunder in 7. I honestly should just go with what you predict from now on. But anyway, talk about this series so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been all Indiana, really. I mean, last night they had 32 in the 4th, and they held the Thunder to 18. So, yeah, just incredible stuff, really. They had 13 steals as well, which is pretty diabolical to OKC's 6. And, we think of OKC as the defensive powerhouse. They had 10 combined blocks of steals. The Pacers had 11 blocks, 13 steals as a team. So, I mean, it's really been the Pacers' electric defense. And then, again, pushing the floor, making the Thunder uncomfortable, getting points off the turnover. So, yeah, really that is the game changer for them. They shot 52 from the field last night, and they shot 33 from 3. So, that's just how much inside the arc points that they are knocking down. And again, they're clutch. 19 of 22 from 3 from the line. And the Thunder 23 of 30. So they shot 75%. And Pacers shot 76 or 86. So again, they're more efficient at the line. They're more efficient in the paint. They're just winning battles. They're kind of hungry as well. And again, here's the thing that is really a game changer for this series, I guess you could say. Each game, someone off the bench had 20 plus and has been a real game changer for the winning team. So, I mean, last night it was Benedict Mathurin. He had 27 off the bench in 22 minutes. I mean, that's just insane. Game 2, The Thunder took that one, but I mean, off the bench, Caruso had 20, Aaron Wiggins had 18. So again, it's just who can come off the bench and be kind of that energizer. Game one, the Pacers didn't lead until zero point 0.3 seconds left in the game. Again, Tyrese Halliburton's ability to come in clutch, time and time again, it's been a consistent thing this postseason. Had a game winner against the Bucks, had a game winner against the Cavs, had a game winner against the Knicks, and now he had a game winner against the Thunder. So, I mean, what are you going to do about that? And then the Pacers, Obi Toppin had 17 off the bench in game one. So it's just that consistent thing. The Pacers had 24 turnovers and still won game one, which is kind of mind-boggling that they were that bad turning the ball over and then still ended up winning the game. So really it's just who can come in down the stretch and then who wins the turnover battle. It was pretty even game two, but again, the Thunder take that one pretty handily, especially with, Jay and the production that the Thunder got in game two from guys like Shea, Jalen Williams, but Caruso 20 off the bench, Aaron Wiggins 18 off the bench again. It's that bench thing. We'll see who takes game four. I don't love the Pacers at home. I will say that. They're not that great at home. They dropped a couple to the Knicks. I don't kind of remember the Cavs and the Bucks series, but they haven't been great this playoff run at home, so we'll see. But they did win last night, so props to them. We'll see. We'll see who takes game four, I guess.
All right. Yeah. I am very surprised that the Pacers are up. Now, granted, the Thunder should have won game one. So, yeah. But, I mean, if I'm being honest with you all, the Thunder never win game three. So, that just seems to always be their Achilles heel. So, I'm not too concerned about this right now. But, yeah, the Pacers came in last night. Their depth was incredible. They had their guys had a lot of points and not a lot of minutes. Halliburton was good. Siakam was good. Everything was just great last night. And the Thunders weren't making the shots that they normally were making in the first two games of the series. If you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Alex Caruso, even they were making a lot of their open threes, and they were able to get inside a lot easier. In this game, they weren't able to do so. This isn't really an excuse, but I do want to just point out the fact the refs were calling a lot more fouls than they were in the first two games. They were letting Oklahoma City be a bit more aggressive in those first two games, not so much in this last game here. So I think that could have had something to play into it. Not saying that the refs are the reason that the Thunder lost, but I'm just saying that I don't think the Thunder were too happy that they weren't able to play as aggressive as they normally would be. So that's something you got to take into consideration right there. But yeah,
we're calling it both ways. I mean, Thunder had 20 fouls, but Pacers had 24. So
no, I'm just saying that
You're right.
the game was just called with a lot more fouls in general.
Yeah.
Like both teams couldn't be as aggressive because I remember in game one, I think there was like somebody was trying to get to the rim. I think it was Siakam and Jalen Williams was right there. He went straight up, but there was so much body contact to the point where I thought it was going to be called a fouls in the clutch moments of the game. But yeah, so I mean, once again, that's not a reason that Oklahoma City lost. I just think that it, could have hurt their momentum a little bit, but not too much. I mean, Oklahoma City should be able to adjust. But game two, I mean, Oklahoma City just came out and dominated. I mean, they literally were just making everything. They were going on so many runs to the point where Indiana had no chance. It was just the role players were playing so great. Shea was making everything. Jay Williams and Chet Holmgren had better game twos. Everything was just
39-3.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything was clicking for Oklahoma City in game two. They were just making their shots, honestly, which, I mean, if you're Indiana or any team, really, it's just so hard to stop a hot team, and especially when that team is Oklahoma City. But even in the third game, I thought Oklahoma City played well, except for the last few minutes where they just kind of collapsed. I thought the ball movement was good. I thought that Oklahoma City played great in like their game plan. I thought they executed fine. Like they were able to drive inside, kick it out in the corner. It's just they weren't able to make the shots that they normally were making. Now, once again, is that because they played in a game 3 and they just struggle in their game 3s? Yeah, but Indiana also struggles in their game 3s as well. I believe they're 0 for 3 in game 3s in their in playoff series this season. So, or in these playoffs. So, I mean, you can't really make that excuse. But I mean, now that the Thunder will not win in 5, I'm taking them in 6. So, I mean, I'm not going. I can't see this going 7. I think the Thunder come back. I think that they win 4 straight or 3 straight here. I think that they come out hot once again because one out of 7 games they come out not hot. Or it was 2 out of 7 in Denver, and that one went to 7, and they dominated the 7th game. So if you're Oklahoma City, I think that you come back. I think that you play well. I think that you do what you were doing in game 2, where you start to make your shots more, which is just the problem that you had in game 3. I think the Thunder take this series. I still am not too concerned about it. Indiana's a really good team. But yeah, Oklahoma City Thunder were just not on their game last night, and credit to Indiana for taking advantage of them. But I am still taking Oklahoma City here. I'm taking them in 6 games.
Man, I mean, I guess I'll stick with the Thunder in 7, but just because that's what I had. But you're undervaluing the Pacers, man. I mean, their bench talent is really good. Jarris Walker's out. One other guy's out. I forget his name, but I mean, they're just really, really good. And for the fact that you had them in 5 and now you're taking them in 6, I mean, you got to respect the Pacers a little bit. I mean, they're not a team to be messed with. I don't think that they're going to win 3 straight, the Thunder. I just can't see that happening. I'll stick with the Thunder in 7 just because that's what I had originally. But, I mean, I really want to switch to the Pacers winning it.
The Pacers are good, but they shouldn't have won game 1. I mean, they got dominated in game 2, and then the Thunder never play well in game 3. So, I mean, if it was if it was any team,
you don't think the Thunder are going to play bad again?
No, because they haven't done so in the playoffs. They played 2 games bad in Denver, and the 2 games bad that I see here were the last few minutes in game 1, and then game 3. So, I mean, history shows us that the Thunder only play at least 2 games bad or 1 game bad in each series. So I can't really see them doing that again. Now, listen, I probably will end up being
even if
wrong.
they play good, I feel like the Pacers have a chance.
No, yeah, I agree. They played the Pacers were sticking with them in games 1 and 3. I mean, the games have been decently close. It all just depends on who has the better depth. And last night that was not Oklahoma City, but I expect that to change, honestly. But we'll see. I could be wrong. This could go 7. I mean, I'm not saying it can't go 7.
So you think there's no shot that the Pacers win?
I don't think the Pacers win the series. I think it could go 7 though.
All right, whatever.
I don't know if they, I mean I can't say there's I can't say
you. The Pacers are home right now with a 2-1 lead.
All right, Oklahoma
they
City,
go 3-1, man. It's over.
Yeah, I agree. If it's 3-1, then I don't think Oklahoma City comes back. But I don't think we're gonna get to that point. I don't think we get to that.
All right, Ryan's rants.
All right, let's do it. Ryan's rants here. Give me the first topic.
Instagram.
I mean, listen, I make my new Instagram account, okay? And I'm like, hey, let me follow some new people. Or not new people, the people that I know. Start following. And then Instagram just says, you're done following people. You can't do it anymore till, next Monday. And I'm like, what? They think I'm a bot or something? They think I'm doing illegal things? What are you talking about here? Do I look like a robot to you? Unless I'm not Ryan and I'm AI or some BS. I don't know what's going on around here. I'm not a robot. Why don't you get some actual people instead of your damn system working on it, and then you can get things right around here. I mean, listen, anybody can tell what's a bot and what's not a bot. I mean, this is ridiculous with what these companies do. You don't even have real people working on this stuff. This is why we're all going to die with AI or something like that. This is honestly getting ridiculous around here. I mean, I understand what the teachers are going through in schools, man. I really get it sometimes.
Nick's trying to request coaches.
Listen, this has got to be the funniest and the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. They're trying to request all these big-time head coaches. They're requesting Jason Kidd. They're requesting Quinn Snyder. They're requesting Billy Donovan. Why would these teams want to let you interview their head coaches? Ime Udoka is another one. Why would they want you to interview their head coaches? They're the Knicks. They pay well. You get so much publicity with the New York Knicks. It doesn't make sense. Why in God's name would you waste your time, waste everybody's time, and try to ask for interviews with these head coaches? It is stupid. It is so mind-boggling that you think teams would say yes. Did the Knicks honestly call up the phone and think that the teams were going to say yes? Did they honestly think that was going to happen? Because if they 100% thought that at least one team was going to give them an opportunity to interview their head coach, I think that they are honestly stupid. Swear to God.
The Bengals keep dragging out contracts.
I mean, listen, either you pay Trey Hendrickson and Samar Stewart, or you just trade them away. It doesn't make any sense. Listen, will this probably get all figured out by week 1 or 2? Yes, but come on, man. Nobody feels like hearing this in the headlines for the rest of the summer. I'm trying to figure out other things to talk about here. Why the hell do they keep dragging this out? Get the contract done, because history shows when guys are not at training camp, when guys are not at the team facility doing things, then they don't play well when they start the regular season. Their body's not in shape, or I'm sorry, not in the football shape, or maybe the shape that the team wants them to be. So get the contracts figured out, and let's get this all over with. I mean, this is getting honestly ridiculous here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Their front office is absolutely incompetent. They don't understand the money in the salary cap. They just should have traded away T. Higgins, honestly, and got their new first-round receivers. It doesn't make any sense what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of hearing about it on my phone, man. Let me hear about something else for once. Gee, man. But getting on that Instagram thing, I will have some graphics out next week. Just some fun stuff, it's what we're trying to do here, trying to gear up towards the St. Joe's Prep football season. Also, some other things to talk about on there as well. And then, we'll have something out, a reminder that the interview with Seth Slater will be out in just under an hour, actually, and over 45 minutes at 12 p.m. Eastern time on WSJP's YouTube. Make sure you guys go check that out. Quick little 40-minute interview with Seth Slater. Once again, we'll have a post out on CR7 Podcast to talk about or give a reminder to the audience there. And I think that's it. Cole, I don't know. Any closing words? Any closing thoughts? Should be back on Monday. Just because we want to keep the schedule consistent. If we are not, we will try to let you guys know. And breaking news, Chris Godwin is adding a junior to the back of his jersey. It's a slow day here in NFL news, Cole. But nonetheless, that should do it for the latest edition of the CR7 Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you all later. Peace.